on. We're about to be in game. Let's kick this off. That's to the top right hand side. This could be one hell of a best of 5. Our red Terran player. It's INnoVation. Up against the blue Zerg in the bottom left. Reynor. INnoVation just loves proxy racks and Zergs, man. Did this the other day as well in the groups. He proxy racked Solar. He proxy racked Impact, I think. Or I think Impact might have just died at to a Hellbat attack in 5 minutes. He didn't spend very long in game against Zergs. He just sort of killed them very quickly. So here we go. Already the barracks dropping down on the bottom side of the map. Second rack's going to come over as well. Third rack's also coming through. So very all-in setup here for INnoVation on Hurricane. All 3 of these barracks dropping down on the south. Obviously, Reynor doesn't know about this just yet. He is sending one Overlord up to the left. This is kind of a... It's not a super far off proxy, I suppose. I guess it's kind of long because you have to come along and then kind of around and down to get to the natural expansion in the end. So, it's kind of lengthy in that regard, at least. So, let's see how it plays out, because obviously the first Marine is already starting the SCV coming forwards. And it's going to be setting up for, in a couple of moments, throwing down a bunker. So bunker on the way here. Again, the first few Marines on the way out. Now this drone from Reynor pops down to the low ground. It is going to go and nibble away at that SCV, so I'm going to get a bit of damage done. This Overlord is seen. I was going to be able to get to the high ground, though. Pulls more drones to help deal with this. A Spine Crawler starts up already. As Reynor is going to come, and that's an SCV kill, actually. That's really nice. There is still more units coming forward. He is going to keep chasing those off, trying to buy time to just stop. I mean, one of the big things here is stopping the bunker from coming up, right? So if this bunker never comes up, then the Spine Crawler can get the kill already. Then you have much less you have to worry about. And Lings are already now on this bunker, and that is going to be a cancel on bunker number 1. So already Reynor forcing a cancel on this first bunker. Going to see a few Lings pressing forward to try and push those Lings back a little bit, Marines back a little bit. Spine will finish, but it's not in range of the next bunker on the way up. Queen's going to commit itself to try and get the SCV. It's kind of close. Ooh, Marines now in range of the Spine Crawler is going to lose one. Can that Queen get the SCV kill? It's going to be kind of close, man. Looks like the answer to that is no. Bunker... I don't know what the bunker really gives you here, though, as INnoVation, because it's not in range of anything. It's just a little bit of a safe haven. Reynor is going to unburrow the Spine Crawler and relocate it just slightly. And again, you just need to move that a little bit. Needs to keep these Queens safe. I mean, the follow-up here from INnoVation, he is going double gas. I would say typically you would kind of expect maybe even an SCV pull from this point, but no, it's going to be double gas. There's something Reynor could go and scout with this Overlord, and that would be quite important for him to just know that it's not an SCV pull, although he seems to be fairly confident about it anyways, as he's making a good amount of, he's adding in drones as he goes here. Two Queens in a little bit of trouble there. They've got transfusion students. He actually pulled back the Spine Crawler. He just wanted to make it more difficult for INnoVation to kind of jump in and out on that. More Lings on the way up. A second Spine as well. So now Reynor is kind of taking this a little bit more being a little bit more cautious. Again, he just hasn't committed this Overlord to see what exactly is going on. Just more and more Marines being made from INnoVation as he continues to commit into this here. Obviously just hasn't lifted those racks up, hasn't sent those home at all. I feel at this point, Reynor, as he gets Link speed up, should of course feel a lot safer. We'll see if he wants to try and bust out with the 2 Spines, the Queens. Obviously, as Link speed finishes, he can kind of flood into this position a lot more easily, and that's oftentimes what we see. They then, sudden attempt to break out of this position, but INnoVation is starting to send his Marines back home. This is something that Reynor doesn't see, by the way. He doesn't have that vision to see what's leaving the back of the bunker, so at this point, he can stop making Lingers, but he doesn't quite know it yet as he moves forwards here. This is already a sign, I think. He sees that there's only 1 Marine in the bunker. He realizes there's nothing there. And now Reynor, he is going to send the Lingers across. But INnoVation's already bought some time where his Marines... Oh, where are these racks going? They were on their way back home, and now they're going back down to the bottom left side. Interesting. Probably means he wants to play mech then, or he's just misclick of the sentry. He probably wants to try and land these barracks on future bases to try and stop them from being taken as quick, but Reynor already starts the third hatch. Well, these Lings are going to try and get forwards here. The Marines are on the ramp. A few SCVs pulled in to help. Not sure how this is really going for Reynor, because it's very tough to kind of make out these numbers, but I think the Lings are going to do okay up on that high ground. Now they're going down to the low ground to delay the command center as well. Now, this is very close, actually. INnoVation was only just... Well, I say only just going to survive this. He's going to get rid of enough Lingers only just to stop the command center being cancelled here. So the command center will survive with Hellions about to pop out. This was nice from Reynor. A good counterattack that kills 8 SCVs. That's going to be seeing these Lingers actually jumping on these Hellions, just trying to buy a bit more time, going for another SCV kill. A few more Lings arriving as well. SCVs might want to pull themselves in here. Maybe, I mean, definitely repair the Hellions. I'm surprised we haven't seen that already. He's going to come back down to the low ground. I mean, maybe just pull SCVs just to keep this command center alive, because at the moment, INnoVation is in a little bit of trouble. The SCV is going to fall again. There's only a couple of Lings left, though. These Hellions will finally make short work of this. And finally, they will get to save the command center, but INnoVation is down 15 workers now. Huge deficit for INnoVation here as 2 more Hellions come down to this low ground. INnoVation trying to go up to a fusion core now. A Raven has just completed as well. You're in an interesting addition here. He's going to send it across the map as well, so he's going to look to try and get some worker kills with it. Reynor up 20 drones after this attack early on. We are going to get a bit more action from this as the battlecruiser comes in. It's another good map for a battlecruiser, right? You can escape up this side and then hit the third base, right? So you can kind of jump between those bases easily. I'm not sure about the main to the natural so much. I definitely like this kind of location here. Maybe like teleport in behind the main, hit some drones, come out here, see if you can get some more damage before you go into the dead airspace, and you know, stay very safe at that point. Balin is dropping down from Reynor. Lair starts up as well in the main. So getting that ready to go. A single Zerglin coming around. Going to be moving up through the top. That battlecruiser again just about halfway done here. 2 drones going down to this order turret. As the Lings stream in. Well, order turret will just expire. Again, I mean, INnoVation will take any workers he can get right now, because Reynor's economy is insane. Like 32 SCVs to 57 drones. And that's just the fact that this natural expansion was slowed down so much here. As we do have Hellions moving through the center of the map. Cruiser on the way out, number 2, so he is going to go into more than just the one. Goes into the natural right away, and only 1 queen over here. Good defense by Reynor. Somehow, INnoVation doesn't quite grab the other drone just yet. So we've seen 2 more drones picked up as well. There's Raven coming back into play. It's a lot of lost mining time that's being forced, though now, of course, that's up. Oh my god, the Hellions! Come in as Hellbats on that third base. I thought the drones were kind of already pulled away over here, though. I thought that was going to be trouble, but actually Reynor might be in trouble anyways, because, again, he just doesn't really have much to fight off Hellbats. He's very lucky that the first couple of Banes connected as they did, because if they didn't, he would have been in a lot of trouble. The Queens are still trying to chase the battlecruisers. INnoVation is kind of making things happen over here. These Hellbats are so low now. That spine in the background is actually super useful to stop these Hellbats from getting too many more drones, because that definitely was a possibility in all of this, I think. There's INnoVation. +1 vehicle plating, by the way, so he is looking to go further in towards the battle, the kind of the mech style here, while supporting with battle cruisers. And he's going to be trying to leave the base over this side, and he is going to get down towards the third, where a few of those drones are damaged. He teleports a new battle cruiser in here as well. He's actually just straight up fighting the Spore Crawler on this third base. We'll take this down. Queen's on the way over, though, and it shouldn't be long until they are in position to turn this around. Another Overlord going to go down as well, though, but 17 workers killed. INnoVation is able to find some damage here. Get himself back in this game a little bit after things were not looking so good for him. 2 more factories down in the main base. So again, continuing in towards that mech style we talked about. He's going to continue building battlecruisers with this as well. Use this as a real way to kind of control the map, and it's so annoying if you're trying to deal with like Hellion Cyclone on one side and the BC's just like, boom, I'm gonna, you know, kill your building 5th hatchery or something. It can really slow down the bases, so Yamato cannon coming up. And again, more battlecruisers being built, so really looking at these as a way to control the map here in the near future. Armory drops in on the natural expansion, and just going to be seeing the building speed coming up. BC is coming back up in towards the natural expansion here. Then again, there's this barracks kind of flying back away up this top side. Some Zerglings running in and dealing a little bit of damage. A few of these SCVs taking some shots. And gain another scan on top of this main base, keeping track of what's going on. +1 melee and Carapace coming through at the moment. Hellions again just going to get another couple lings on the right side. Yeah, Infernal Pre-Igniter setting up in the main base, getting this ready to roll. And we really are truly into INnoVation's mech play now. And Reynor is going to have to find a way to deal with this. He's gone into Lingbane Hydra to begin with. He's going to add in some Infestors to this as well. These battlecruisers are still deadly, finding an Overlord on the map. And again, INnoVation after that counterattack really found himself back in this game. It really wasn't pretty for him early on, but yeah, it's really made things happen. So Reynor at this stage, he's obviously adding those Infestors in, and that's where it becomes a bit more difficult for INnoVation. Those Infestors and the Fungals are so good at locking the Hellions and Cyclones in position. They're so good at locking these battlecruisers down as well, of course. Stopping them from teleporting away sometimes is kind of a big deal. This is what's really powerful about these BCs. You fly in, you Yamato 3 queens, and you just leave. And that's 3 full energy queens that just die. They're not coming back. Really powerful unit, these battlecruisers. I wonder if we'll see Reynor going up into Neural Parasite as well, or if he's just content to stick around at Fungal Growths. For the moment, he's actually rushing up towards Hive as well. Intrigued to see what the plan may be there. Maybe he just feels like he'll need a Viper or two, especially because INnoVation now building tanks. And this has become more popular lately as well, instead of continuing to mass Hellion Cyclone, to instead say, okay, what I'm going to do now is to build up a whole bunch more siege tanks. And just actually, for the maxed out push, you have that kind of back line of tanks, and if there's nothing to deal with that back line of tanks, it can be super deadly. Tanks are very scary in general, and if you can't get through the Hellion Cyclone, those tanks are just going to sit there and deal a lot of damage as the 4th base sets up now in the center. Again, Hive is going to complete here as BC is still just harassing this base. It's a very powerful position for BC. He's able to come over this side and hit this, hit these extractors, etc. Forces a defense, and if you force a defense, then you can get Yamatos off to punish the queens. Reynor sets up a bit of a flank here. Going to come around the top of this. Flying Barracks is actually going to see it coming in, so INnoVation knows about it. So you shouldn't be caught off guard at all. Lings, what are they going to do? They are going to try and just catch this army, and they are going to stop it dead in its tracks for a moment or two. Some Banes are going to connect from the left-hand side. Reynor finds some connections suddenly. He's going to keep pressing forward here, but there's 3 siege tanks, and that will hold Reynor off. So those tanks have been super valuable already. 5 more showing up, and this is where I think you need a couple of Vipers probably in play. Reynor will start those up. He also has Neural Parasite in the production tab, so he's getting up to that little bit of something extra for those Infestors. Hydra's coming in as a way to try and turn these BCs away. The thing is, Hydra's actually just in low numbers really not that great against BCs because they die so fast in the BC attacks. This Fungal Growth means the battlecruiser can't teleport away. So that's really nice, locking that tactical jump down. He's going to go to the top side now, and against the mobility of these battlecruisers that makes them so powerful. And that's why 2 to 3 battlecruisers can do so much. You have to commit so little as just a Yamato to really try and take down this base. It's getting pretty low, that hatchery, but it will not quite go down. The Hydra's here, well, obviously the jump's already been used, so INnoVation will lose a second battlecruiser of the 3. And he just got a bit too greedy trying to kill this hatchery. Reynor was able to rotate to the top side quickly. Nicely done, as we have a few Hellions out through the top. Gonna pick up a single Zergling here. 10 more Hydras on the way out from Reynor, as we do see these Hellions just showing up. He's just gonna drop the Fungal, and that will not quite guarantee him the kill. He could have flanked into those, but He's just going to let them go. That one Zergling gets one more nibble, but it's not enough to grab a kill. Plus 2 vehicle weapons is going to be finishing soon. There's another couple of Liberators siege up. We see 2 more spines to the far left. Again, it's this sort of stage where you just need the stack defense to help stabilize, and this is the sort of point where we maybe get into a very long game here. 2 more starports being built. He's rebuilding his fusion core. I think this is the stage where INnoVation's like, yeah, this is why I transitioned into battle cruisers. But you just kind of forgot, or maybe even Liberator range, but you just kind of forgot he already has a fusion core because of the battle cruisers early. Definitely no need for a second fusion core here. Big blinding clouds on these tanks, but there's so many tanks. I can't agree with Reynor wanting to continue to attack into this. He does have another set of blinding clouds, though, so he's trying to keep making this happen. Again, as those tanks come out of the clouds, it is going to be a bit too much. And there's only Hydralisks left here, so the Hellions obviously do very well against those with the Blue Flame upgrade. There's a nice kill in the command center, though, because now INnoVation doesn't actually have a 5th CC ready to go. Only an orbital over here, but I'm pretty sure he wants this location to be a command planetary fortress. And he's going to find a neural parasite on this battlecruiser, and that is going to go down before it's able to get out of there. So finally, the last battlecruiser for now is cleaned up. But again, extra starports have been added on. What's he doing in terms of add-ons on those starports? It's another reactor and a tech lab, so he's probably looking for Liberators actually here initially. Liberators are very good at holding off the Hydra forces, because actually, with the range, the Liberators just can't, the Hydras just can't get in range themselves without getting annihilated. And the Hydras are so squishy, the Liberators do extremely well against them, even ship weapons coming up now. So Liberators coming through, as well as a 4 or so. We do have Great Aspire on the way up, so Reynor will hit Brutalogs very shortly here. Another couple of Fungals, and these Hellions will go down. So good cleanups, very good cleanups so far. The rest of this Hydra army coming out up to the top side. Seeing where it can go as we do just have again, a couple of Liberators from INnoVation continue to set up. Really building these up right now on this natural expansion, so a lot of libs on the way. We're going to go to the super late stages here on Hurricane. I feel like we haven't seen a super long game on Hurricane, actually, and I felt with this Proxy Rex coming down, I was like, no, not again. But, it has turned into something quite spectacular at the moment, as Vipers and Hydras are going to come through the top side here. There's Abducts available to get rid of these first couple of Liberators. So you just abduct the tanks as well. And there's so many tanks, though. There's a lot more coming in, but actually they're just going to keep getting younged into this army. Not enough Vikings here just yet, as a couple more Liberators just fly overhead. And Reynor is able to pick those off very easily. 7 Broodlords about to finish morphing. Let's get those Broodlords up and running. 4's switching into a different mode to try and fight the Broodlords off. We're getting to that point where this could be very deadly for INnoVation. If he doesn't have, if he doesn't have enough to hold on, what is he going to do against those Broods? If he doesn't have the Vikings he needs with the anti-air, I mean, he's building a 4 Liberator. So he's very confident about these 4s, but I feel like we're going to have a very good number of Broodlords to work with, so I'm not sure if 4s are really going to be enough. Spine able to poke its way through a couple of these Hellions, so Hellions taking quite a bit of damage. But of course, they've already kind of cleaned up this mineral line. All 8 workers that were here have gone down. And this one sneaky Hellion gets out of there as well. INnoVation look to use that again later. And his extra command centers drop down. And INnoVation just expanding quite aggressively at the moment, even trying to press forwards into this more centralized base. We might actually get to see an example of the... I actually get to see a bit of an example of this top left base being taken. This base is very interesting because, same as the bottom right base, it's just a ramp down into it, so it's actually kind of a hard base to attack into and out of. Very, very interesting to see these starting to come into play now, as we do have 2 Hydras starting to nibble their way through the command center here on the top side. A few Corruptors coming in. So these Hydras are going to take down that CC. It was originally trying to land here, but the creep blocked it. Try to go top left. Reynor's army is in position. INnoVation will go to the right side with an army as well. He is going to have to first of all deal with this big army push on the left. I mean, this is Reynor with everything he has. It's not just a little harassment squad. We're setting up from a bit of a distance. 1 or 2 of the 4s already getting yoinked in from the Vipers. I mean, oh my god, that's 5 4s. 2 of them actually get out. There's so many 4s yoinked there that you couldn't kill them all fast enough. And saving one of them with the medevac. Reynor losing some units as well, though. Those tanks have been firing pretty much non-stop, and the couple of 4 shots did go off on the Broodlords. I feel like we saw maybe... Alright, we didn't see a single one die. I feel like Reynor lost a little bit of something, though. Meanwhile, there's a siege tank counterattack on the bottom side. These tanks, INnoVation going to be spreading those out a little bit further and trying to hit this base. At the same time, though, again, he has to try and find a way to fight this off. And some Vikings show up now. Is it going to be enough? He has to kite back, but the parasitic bomb already lands on one of those Vikings. Well, there's only a couple of Corruptors left. As these Corruptors go down, there's now going to be infested Terrans to try and hold the lines. 4 coming forwards as well. Actually shoots a Viper out of the sky, and from the distance, the 4 is doing very well against those Broodlords. Only a couple of Broods really left alive here, but more Corruptors showing up. INnoVation loses the top side orbital command. He is staying up in supplies. Reynor is kind of spending his bank to deal with this as well. And is that the last Broodlord? Oh my god, the Young across the rocks. The Hydras will get the kill. More 4 showing up though, and again, suddenly those Corruptors just have to turn away. Both players with heavy losses here throughout this fight. Both players' banks are pretty much expended. 10 more Broodlords instantly from Reynor. These guys are trading pretty easily. 31,000 to 29,000 resources lost. Slightly better for Reynor here, but he's actually down on 60 drones, Reynor, so he's actually on a worse economy. It also means that with 60 drones, he's got a larger standing army, but he isn't going to have as much of a bank after these fights to remax on, whereas INnoVation's going to have much more. So obviously Reynor should be able to trade a bit better, but INnoVation's going to be able to rebuild that much faster. Lingers and Hydras back through towards the center of the map. Broodlords repositioning here as well. On the top left-hand side, some Hellions starting to nibble their way through this hatchery. A couple of drones going down. And these Corruptors on the bottom right, Caustic's spraying down a planetary fortress, so this planetary fortress will fall. Broodlords dropping in here. Nice catch. Gonna get rid of this 4 right away. Really well done. Siege tank gets picked off also. And you see these Broodlords picking their way through this command center. Command center goes down. Planetary fortress going to take quite a lot of damage as well. It's also going to drop here in the next few moments. Suddenly INnoVation is struggling to hold on to some of his bases. He's sending a large army to counterattack, knowing that a lot of Reynor's forces are very Broodlord focused. As these Hellbats, oh my god, they're going to turn around for the hatchery and they just about get it. Hellions morph into Hellbats here and pressing forwards with this army. Again, on the ground, I mean, without the Broodlords to help, actually this ground force from Reynor is... It's not bad, right? But it's also, it does lack a lot missing the Broods. INnoVation is going to find himself having to fight here, I think. So he is going to be very committed to this position. This hatchery should go down at the very least. The Broods are about to arrive. Oh, this Reynor's going to dive in on this at the last moment. The 4s are trying to make their way out of here. There's some Banes coming in. Neural Parasites are going to come down as well on these 4s, and that's going to catch them and keep them over on this side. INnoVation will be losing about 20 supply of 4s right there, and that's some painful losses as this 4 here seems to have turned around to fight a couple of Broodlings. That's not going to end well. It goes down to INnoVation with a lot of losses suddenly, and that hatchery just didn't quite go down. Man, that hatch just actually just survived, really just survived. Now that's kind of INnoVation's whole play to try and get this hatchery here, try and slow down some economy. Hellions deflected by Spinecrawler placement in the center. And Reynor still pressing up through the center. Hellions find themselves tucked away into a corner against some Hydras. Not really much they can do there. Oh my god, huge fungal groves land and parasitic bombs as well on the Vikings. INnoVation will do his best to split up this air force. He is killing some of the Vipers, so he's getting some revenge. The 4s get into their anti-air mode to try and kill off these Corruptors. A couple of the Infestors going down on the grounds as well. There's still some Vikings left, and they still have Broodlords that are throwing down Broodlings here. INnoVation trying to kill whatever he can. More Corruptors showing up. The Hydras are going to be a big help as well. And that is going to be GG from INnoVation. Reynor will find a 25-minute game number 1 here. As we get into this, guys, it's the bottom right-hand side. Our red Zerg player up 1-0 in the best of 5. This is Reynor. Up against the blue Terran, it's INnoVation. Reynor comes in as a replacement. Clem had to forfeit his round of 8 match today, unfortunately. And so we get Reynor as, I mean, not a bad replacement, right, Reynor? So Reynor comes in because he finished 3rd place in the group, whereas Clem finished 2nd. So it's pretty, it's pretty exciting as you get this ready to go. Again, Golden Forge, super large map. INnoVation is not going to throw his barracks down on the other side of it, so he's just going to go for the Reaper expansion here early on. You do get these bases real quickly. Third, 4th, 5th. We saw some really crazy games on this one already. So excited to see what else comes of this here. Two queens on the way up. Couple of drones on the way out. Hatchery dropping down on the 3rd base. So very early game is nothing really all too crazy here. Link speed is going to get started. Bit of a later link speed on this map. I mean, you can get away with it. It's going to finish at about 4 minutes. But again, I mean, what do you really need link speed for any earlier unless you want to somehow apply pressure? But even that's going to take a long time for links to run across this map. And huge map. Overall coming over the side. Reaper is heading down to the bottom right. Starport about to complete from INnoVation, so that's going to be done in a moment or two. A couple more Hellions with that Reaper. I was going to sit on this ramp for a moment or two. Again, a couple of Lings pulling around to the side. Queens going to be able to push those units into the center. Viking on the way up from INnoVation. Marauder building too. So this is a Hellbat attack that we've seen from him a couple of times so far this event, where he just goes for that Marauder Hellbat timing. And honestly, Reynor was so badly prepared for the Hellbats in the last game. A more dedicated Hellbat attack this time may really catch him off guard again. So he has to be a bit more on top of things here, Reynor. The thing is as well, you could maybe argue that maybe he wasn't expecting it because of the position of the last game. So you could maybe argue that, but well, let's see. This Overlord gets denied. Reynor even supply blocked from that Overlord going down, so really is playing in the dark at the moment. So the idea here is the medevac comes out. It's going to bring the Marauders across the map. These Hellions are going to run across the map on their own. And this is just going to be Hellbat Marauder. It's very deadly because if these Marauders are able to catch the Queens, then the Queens obviously can't run away. They can't kite. And even if you build Roaches as a response to this, actually, the Marauders add so much damage to those Roaches that isn't usually there. You can still kind of be caught a bit off guard. And again, Reynor, completely blind, is building drones, and more drones. And INnoVation. I mean, again, this is kind of what happened against Impact. He just sort of came across the map and Impact just didn't have anything. This Viking can land as well to add to this composition. So here we go. Viking lands. The Queen's going to spread a creep jammer out. And, I mean, already, that Queen is not dead yet because the Marauders actually don't stay in range of it somehow. But you can see that slowing feature of the Marauders. The concussive shells is just so powerful. You can see a nice little attack from the back here, trying to utilize the Hellings surrounding some of the Hellbats that are out on their own. Even the Viking just adding damage here just so much, by the way, as the Hellbats now in a really cute position. The Ling surround is going to be very negligible here as the Queens are just dropping, and this army from INnoVation is just barely going down at all. This is going to be a lot of damage dealt here. Now in the drone line, Reynor just has absolutely no response to this. INnoVation cut a lot of SCVs to make this happen as well, by the way. He's only on 27 workers going into this attack, but again, Reynor did not see it coming. He had no reason to prepare for this. INnoVation now is going to keep on dealing a lot of damage. He's still rallying. Even another Marauder across the map. He is actually going to be up against some drones. Doesn't do so well, but then a Hellion shows up. A Reaper Grenade is going to bop some drones around as well. And obviously it's just the Hellbat still picking off everything. Lings coming in a few at a time. Obviously not doing much at all. And again, drone after drone going down. INnoVation is going to find a quick way back into this best of 5, looking to tie us up 1-1 in the series. Well, that's picking away at these Queens. The 15 drones down. I mean, a Liberator in the main base as well, just helping. This Queen's going to target the Liberator. It goes down as soon as it gets tapped, but again, it's so much damage taken. And INnoVation is just going to pick away at some more of these drones. 21 workers, man. It's a hell of a lot of damage as we're going to be seeing even more reinforcements showing up in the natural expansion. Reynor is just playing. I mean, I don't even think like Reynor's been able to mine from any of his bases for the last couple of minutes. That's GG. That's a deadly form of INnoVation. And you can see what's going to happen. To the bottom left-hand side. Nope, we've switched sides to the map. Go on then, why not? To the top right-hand side, our blue Terran player INnoVation. Up against the red Zerg. To the bottom left, Reynor. So a quick question about replays. The replay pack is going out probably tomorrow to subscribers and Patreon users. So if you do want to get your hands on all of these replays as well as all the replays from the group matches and so on, we're talking about something like 200 plus replays of high-level Korean play and more. We've got also Aces ROG qualifier replays. We've got Masters Coliseum replays. That's all coming up in the next replay pack coming out again probably tomorrow. If not Monday. Just depends. Depends what time the stream finishes tomorrow, how much time I have between stream finishing and doing social things. So yeah, make sure you check that out. I believe there was also a question about if we were going to cast the Mana series from Group A. I really do intend to, but it just also kind of depends when I can find a little bit of time. Because obviously I didn't really schedule to suddenly have to cast an extra free best of 3 somewhere, so I'm tempted to maybe do it today, depending on how things are going, but I also kind of need some time to go to the shops and stuff today between casts. So I don't really have a good answer for that. I'm not going to lie, I really don't have a good answer for that. So GG. Maybe like tomorrow or Tuesday or something, we might do them or not tomorrow, like Monday or Tuesday after other broadcasts. Might just tag them on. I definitely am going to cast them. It's just a case of trying to figure them out. So it's just a little tough. Well, coming in towards the main base, Roach roaring very fast here from Reynor. So a pool first opening, and he is already arriving with these Zerglings straight through the center. So Lings very quickly here, and Reynor again really turning up the aggression here on Zen. Now these Lings are going to make the Reaper kind of a little bit afraid of going across the map. The good thing here for INnoVation though is that he did go for the command center first, right? Am I not mistaken? So that's obviously pretty nice for him in the sense that he's already very well set up to kind of deal with this. Like his Reaper. His Reaper wasn't out on the map, his Reaper was still being built. His command center was already done, so it can't be, SCV killed and slowed down. But INnoVation goes into a very fast third CC, and that's where the problem is going to lie when dealing with these incoming Roaches. But he's going to see them right now. There's Reaper coming across, he's going to run into the Roach, and boom, he knows what's going on. So immediately now, he's going to bunker up the high ground, and he can pull back to the main. And if he survives with 3 command centers, then obviously he's in a very good position. So factory lifts up, moves towards the tech lab. Marine production has begun already. A little bit of a dance here of the Reaper against the Zerglings. Reynor doesn't have a lot of gas, by the way, so it's only going to be 2 Ravagers. Maybe a third at some point, but the point is it's not going to be a lot of Ravagers right away here. That first Roach probably could have stopped this depot from lifting up. That would have been pretty big, as we are going to see Marines into the bunker then. Again, this natural CC is obviously going to be lifted up here. He's actually going to try and break through the depot on the left side. A Cyclone on the way out. A Siege Tank is just too immobile to really be very useful here. INnoVation will lose his depot on the left. Problem is, if you want to run up this ramp, you're still going to take a lot of damage from the Marines in the bunker. But Reynor is starting to add on his, add to the Ravager count, so that's going to become a bit more deadly. He's probably going to get this other supply depot in a few moments. He's getting drones at home, so he has stopped building aggressive units. Another good set of corrosive bars will kill the supply depot. And we'll continue to repair the bunker. The Cyclone also very good for this, being able to push the Overlord away to get rid of high ground vision. This is a very good response from INnoVation. Pulled the SCVs to stop the Ravagers coming up the ramp and chasing the Cyclone. And he just got back in time to repair the bunker as well. Very well done by INnoVation, I would say. And as he flies his natural commands and then back out to location. He's about to have 2 Cyclones, so he should be able to turn this around. The last, an extra Ravager or so being added in. Again, this should be a good position for INnoVation all said and done, because he comes out of it with 3 CCs, as Reynor only just begins to build a 3rd hatchery right now. Locks onto that Overlord again. Pushes it a little bit further back. Now you can afford the Siege Tank as well, right? Because the Siege Tank can kind of push down here. You shouldn't be able to bile it down, because you shouldn't ever get high ground vision again as Reynor. Again, Cyclone's locking on and getting pretty good damage done to those Ravagers. Very nearly getting some kills. They go very low, the 2 of them that were targeted. Not quite dead, but obviously, again, very fickle position. We're going to see everything trying to move down that ramp, but Bars will stop it. Reynor's just going to pull back. He wants to maintain these units so that he has something of a defense at home. If you lose all these Ravagers, suddenly you have to make even more Ravagers and Roaches so you don't die to the counterattack. And if you're trying to not die to the counterattack, I mean, that's just not good. That's just not going to cut it for you, right? Then you're not building drones. Then you're in a really weak position as well. Did Reynor ever see the 3rd CC, by the way? Yeah, he did. So he knows how fast the 3rd base was. He is just making Lings and Roaches, by the way. He's going for follow-up all-in. INnoVation's going to build a battle cruiser here. I went through all the words possible before I got to battle cruiser. I was even just going to say fusion core. I mean, he was already building the fusion core. It's all in from Reynor. It's going to be pretty deadly. Oh no, INnoVation's moving out as well, because he's trying to hold the 3rd base. It's a bit of a risk that INnoVation is taking here, but, well, if you can see these units moving across, that'd be great. He's going to see some slow Lings, but that's not enough, I don't think, for him to realize what's going on. He will pull Reynor back a little bit. So Reynor actually coming in to deal with this. Maybe Reynor actually thinks it's more than just those Cyclones, because his entire army's coming back here. He's going to catch one of the Cyclones. I mean, INnoVation now sees how many Lings there are, and he knows those Ravagers are still alive. So I think INnoVation has to realize a little bit of something of what's going on. Battlecruiser's on the way. For INnoVation, this is about minimizing losses while dealing with the, while getting into that Battlecruiser, because the Battlecruiser will eventually clean this up. That Siege Tank's not going to last very long, though, but the Hellions are out there, going to help a lot against these Zerglings that are running through. INnoVation now going to get surrounded, though, and that's going to mean corrosive bars on top of his Marines. He can't really kite anywhere. There's a lot of Ravagers left over, but the BC is about to show up, and again, BC will target down very quickly those Ravagers. So 9 workers lost, INnoVation still in a worker lead, and here's the BC to perhaps save the day. Corrosive bars, the BC has to try and avoid those. Actually, he gets hit by a few already. Hellions trying to hold the ramp by as much time as possible. Again, target down these Ravagers, INnoVation. You need to get rid of these, and again, minimize worker losses. He has now lost a few more workers, and maybe getting to the point where it's too many. 37 SCVs still alive. I think that's still okay, of course, because it is triple orbital, right? So being able to continue, he is still able to rebuild a lot more from there very quickly. BC doesn't kill the Lings very fast, but Hellions are still being produced. SCVs run back through the Lings. That's painful. A Hellion pops out. Will not last very long. This Hellion's in a nice choke point on the left-hand side. Oh my god. 43 workers now killed. Now INnoVation is maybe in a bit more trouble, but there will also be the potential of a counter-attack with the battlecruiser as well. Is it just a bit too much from Reynor? Perhaps it is, as we see these Zerglings streaming through into the main. A second battlecruiser, but now INnoVation is half the worker count. Reynor is beginning to build some extra drones. INnoVation 15 SCVs to 40 workers. I think it's just too much lost here in the very end as Lings and Roaches just keep streaming in. Obviously, the lack of a depot on the high ground here and everything has been very costly. He's down to 5 SCVs. 4 SCVs. That's going to have to be one of those miracle turnarounds where mules are proven themselves to be broken. There is actually already mules mining on the third base. It's very risky for Reynor. He needs to just lift up that base, so he's going to type out GG. 70 SCVs killed there, by the way. Super aggressive out of Reynor, and that is going to be him taking this 2. And see what's going to happen as we start off to the bottom side of the map. Our blue Terran player who is down 1-2. This is INnoVation. To the top right hand side, our red Zerg Reynor. Turning up the aggression there in game number 3, and it worked out for him. And again, I feel like the initial hold from INnoVation, very good. Very greedy trying to take that third base so fast. And especially when he saw those lings, I thought those Cyclones going down was almost like, you know, a bittersweet moment where it's like, damn, I lost the Cyclones, but hey, I see this big attack that could be coming my way. Very, very strange. And I was going to be seeing the Overlord here starting to come down through the center. Everyone's saying the audio was fine. Okay, I'm going to just try and turn it back up to where it was then. Those quick bursts of static? Now I'm too quiet, of course. Typical. Ay. It's okay, guys. All good. We'll fix it. We'll fix it. Yeah, I don't know what the static is. Maybe it's just one of those odd moments. Shouldn't have been anything to mess it up. Alright, so. Getting this ready to go. You can see the Reaper here initially moving around. This is obviously looking a bit more standard from both players here on Everdream. Again, one of the very pretty maps on the map pool. I love it, the subdued green and the and so on. It's a nice color. I like the little pink additions. I say this every single time we load into this map. I do just take a moment to appreciate it. I think I'm happy to say now this is probably my favorite map aesthetically. I just love the style of it, you know. I like it. Alright. Orbital command on the way up here from INnoVation. So getting that set up and ready to roll. So again, that orbital here on the natural expansion, I mean. Straight up to a third hatch from Reynor. So looking like a bit more of a regular game at an opening glance here. Now we'll see how INnoVation wants to set up himself. Because obviously we have seen him in game number 2 just get extremely aggressive and end the game early himself. He even cut workers for that Hellbat attack. So that's something that he did go for back in game 2. Third hatchery about to finish up here over on the far right, and as this finishes, we do see the Bane and Nest from Reynor starting up in the front of the natural. Cloak and a Banshee on the way, so INnoVation playing a pretty safe style here as well in case Reynor gets aggressive again. And I like it because the Bane and Nest is so early here, he's almost blind countering the Bane, you know, he's blind countering the potential Hellbat opening, but if it's not Hellbats, then the Baneland Nest is too early to really be useful at all, right? You don't really need it this early on, so you know, INnoVation just changing it up means that he isn't allowing himself to be countered blindly here by Reynor. As we do see these Hellions and a Reaper are going to sneak by towards the back of the natural mineral line, and there's some Zerglings running in already. We're going to see drones in some trouble, but INnoVation will be very minimized on what he can kill. A few Zerglings and 3 workers. Not really that great, all said and done so far. They're coming up in the main base and getting creep spreading out in a couple of different directions already. Banshee continue to build in the main, another couple of Hellions on the way out. So still building a few Hellions here despite going in towards the Stimpack upgrade. Factory going to lift off the reactor and going to move over to a new one. So obviously just making way for these barracks to come on up. Generally the third racks will then build next to this reactor as well, so it can just jump onto it and do a bit of a swap-a-roo when the structures are finished. Reynor just goes straight up into his lair tech then, and he will be able to advance his way through this. Banshees from INnoVation actually kept at home because he's denied the scouting of Reynor. Reynor is unable to really see what's going on at all. He has not been able to check if there's a Banshee or not. So keeping this from being kind of seen means Reynor can't... I mean, Spore Crawlers are likely to be up anyways. But the other factor is, I mean, even just having Queens in position can help so much to minimize what these Banshees can achieve. So let's see what happens as we do have the two of them heading to the top side. They're going to cloak up preemptively as well, so really going to show up kind of without Reynor being aware. And again, it just means you can maybe catch these workers on the side of the bases and so on very easily. Actually, a Queen just not next to the Spore, for example, is a really good pick-off. And these drones obviously now running around, not mining properly. And these drones not able to get to where they should be. Gas mining denied. Really good little Banshee play here from INnoVation. Look at this, jumping between the two bases. Really nicely done there, because now he's able to force the Queens to go down, up, up, down, up, down. You know, where do we go? This is really nice. I mean, yes, it's only 3 workers killed, and actually a little bit lax there on the Banshees for a moment. 3 workers killed, but a lot of lost mining time added in, and a Queen kill. I like him. The Banshee's obviously still alive for more a bit later, as Hellions moving in towards the 3rd base, but there is going to be Zerglings here. It is going to be Stim, it is going to be Bios. The first time we really get a chance to see Bios shining here from INnoVation in this series. First game mech, second game ended early. Third game kind of ended early as well, in a very different way. Third Orbital is moving up to the top side, so third base nice and quick as well, in position for INnoVation. Not slowing down in that regard at all. As +1 Carapace coming through on the Evo Chamber, +1 melee also added in. We're going to be seeing a Spire, so Lingbane muted the choice. INnoVation already with a second factory going into the tech lab. That's going to allow him to start drilling claws, but also should give him the chance to go in towards a 4 if he would like to. As we now have a drop coming around the top side. Overseers are just still keeping a track of those Banshees in the top right-hand corner, by the way, so just checking that those are still around as the drop comes into the main, and Reynor should have seen this a lot sooner, but he hasn't, so this should be a couple of drones killed here. He gets one, and he's going to get the extractor too, which is actually just a nice denial of gas. Oh, not quite, because actually the Lings do get here just in time. But very nearly gets the extractor at the same time. Aliens do run by into the 3rd base for a few drones, so the combined distraction is pretty nice. Now he drops down towards the group spread, which he wants to clean out to make pushing in the game a little bit easier as it continues onwards. Single Balin here, doesn't get targeted. Again, not quite the micro from Inno you'd expect. You'd expect him to be on top of everything, but still not bad at all, as these 2 Banshees are going to make their way in for a couple of final shots. I mean, we're at the point where Mutalisks are about to be on the map, so gets a couple more drones, though, before one of those Banshees falls, and again, Mutas will probably... Don't even know if you send the Mutas up to kind of go deal with that. INnoVation's looking for the Spire, by the way. It is on the 3rd base. He should have seen that earlier on. So he saw that with the Hellions when they ran by, as long as he was paying attention to actually notice it, which, I mean, you would imagine he did. Drone claws on the way, by the way, as Marines stem into the 4th base. Finds a bunch of drones already in this hatchery now. In a little bit of trouble. Mutalisks flying forwards. A couple more of those going to get picked off here. Marines are just going to go and finish that hatchery. The Marines will then lift into the medevacs, and they're going to go drop towards the 3rd base. Just going to commit themselves in. Say, yeah, you know what, we're probably going to die anyways. Meanwhile, it's just going to be a distraction as INnoVation jumps in the center, and oh my god, another couple of Queens going down. Creep spread is being denied everywhere at the moment, and I mean, there's just so many units on the main base, for example, that aren't doing anything because INnoVation just isn't sending armies there. Man, this is turned into a hell of a game. As you do see Marines coming along this side. Again, maybe a scan to get rid of a little bit of creep, picks off a Mutalisk. Let's go into the main. Missile turret is here. Not much else other than the single missile turret, though, and obviously not a lot covering the rest of the main. So reactors, prime targets for Mutas. They're cheap. They cost gas to rebuild. They take a while to rebuild. They're not cheap. They're low health. They take a while to rebuild. They're easy and quick pickoffs for the Mutalisks. You know, guaranteed rather than, you know, and essentially killing the reactor half the production for a little while. So that's really nice. As INnoVation has units left here after that first wave of Banelings. He's gonna have still units left as Reynor still pressing forwards. One Widow Mine left behind. Link counter-attack though on the 3rd base could be deadly. Oh my god, the Widow Mines have just killed the Mutalisks as they try to escape, so Reynor loses his Mutas. INnoVation just has to get rid of these Zerglings over here, and actually, he's going to be doing just fine. Man, those Mutas going down is super painful. Those Widow Mines just somewhat haphazardly placed. He's going to catch them mutas. Very well done as Marine's coming up to pick up these Zerglings, so nice burrow. Withermine's going to blow up those Lings. Again, very nicely done. Lings and Banes going up to the upper side now. And we've seen that +3 attack upgrade here from INnoVation also getting established. I'm just going to be seeing the Medivac with the 4 Widowmines inside are going to get picked off pretty quickly. So that's at least a nice little shutdown here from Reynor. And as we are going to be seeing the 4th base of INnoVation starting to be established now. I mean, it does look as though they're going to try and come in over on the left in the next few moments, so with a bit of Ling Bane underneath as well. Push through into this position here. A lot of Ling Bane coming in from the right-hand side from Reynor as well. Medivac loads up a few Marines. INnoVation just taking it easy for a moment or two after I feel like he had some very good moments. Just sort of hanging back as he gets the 4th base up and rolling. And look how late Reynor's upgrades are, by the way. Holy crap. 2-2 is so delayed here compared to... I mean, INnoVation's going into 3-3 already. Wow, that's going to be huge for INnoVation. He's going to have a huge timing window on those upgrades. He's even going to be like 3-2 against 2-1 for a while. That's really crazy. Pressing through quite a lot quickly and cleaned out once again. INnoVation just with a very nice little pre-spread here. Down the bottom side, Lings and Banes will counterattack. Reynor will also hit this top side with the Mutas and Banes, so INnoVation will have to pull back to deal with this. And that's exactly what he's doing, but he's always let Banes into the main mineral line as well. Something INnoVation will lose a lot of workers. The one positive for INnoVation, if there is a positive from this, is that it has been a lot of Banelings used up from Reynor. So INnoVation's counterattack, look at the army supplies. 50 army supply advantage to INnoVation. That's also because Reynor has a lot of money in the bank that he's just not using. He's very starved on lava, actually. Making it very difficult for him to make use of that here, as we're going to be seeing those Mutalisks are going to be able to pick off this refinery. So the refinery will go down. And then continue to press forwards here. You're going to see a couple more Banelings connecting. Army still from INnoVation pressing through the center of the map. Another few Zerglings getting picked off here. Another Ling counterattack. Reynor's just going to be relentless with these. He knows it's the one thing he can do to delay INnoVation's main attack from really pressing through and taking advantage. So Reynor still counterattacking, still has Mutas on that 3rd base. Lings in the main, and reproducing Marines are just about going to be enough to clean that up. Mutas on the 3rd are now going down as well. Reynor is about to be up into Hive Tech, so he's about to finally be there. And that should help him a little bit. INnoVation's lost a lot of workers, but again, he has a lot of army supply over Reynor right now. If only Reynor could spend his money, he's just got so much that he can't spend. He's going to start further upgrades now. INnoVation is about to have a set of upgrades that will help him out. 3-3 now done, over 2-2, so the trades here for a little while for INnoVation should look very good as well. Another few Banelings pressing forwards. On the left-hand side, it's another Ling Bane counterattack. I mean, it's so hard for INnoVation to stabilize from this now because obviously we're at this point where there's just no wall off in that position or anything. There's no bunker that was set up at any point. There's not too many Lings left over there, but they are picking up refineries, etc. INnoVation still just trying to trade him out at the front. Eventually, he will need to reinforce this army, though, and that's maybe the problem we're starting to run into now for Inno, where if he doesn't reinforce, this is going to be problematic. He's actually just got so many Medivacs more so than fighting units, but it's keeping units alive for a very long time. But another set of Banelings rolling through. INnoVation Micro in the 4, pulling that back as well. A Widowmine on the right-hand side is established. Now, oh my god, it's going to go off on the center of the Lings. Big set of Lings picked up. I thought it was going to get the Banelings for a moment or two. INnoVation splitting around to the top side. A 4 on the bottom is going to do a lot of tanking. What is even left over? Is it really just Medivacs here? And more units are streaming through the center of the map. Inno, 76 to 30, 40 army supply. He has enough Marines, SCVs at home, I think. I think his economy is okay. It feels like Reynor's in a very tough position all of a sudden where he doesn't quite have enough to hold on while still counterattacking. And so he's going to have to slow things down a little bit from what he was doing before. A lot more Lings streaming in. INnoVation just can't get enough Marines here, it seems. He's got a lot of Widowmines that just aren't active, but also those upgrades are allowing his Marines to fight for so much longer than they really should. Now he's going to have to pull back with these Marines, though, until he gets a few more ready to go. And this fight, once again, is going to be INnoVation favored. The Banelings morphing is what INnoVation really needs to stop. He gets the Overseer as well. I mean, making an Overseer right now is not actually the issue for Reynor, because he actually does have money, Reynor, but the Marines get crashed into by Banelings, but Widow Mines go off again. Zerglings picked off all over the place as they run in once more. They have another surround, more Marines in the center. Another big Widow Mine shot hits a lot of Zerglings. It's a 13-kill Widow Mine there. A couple of Marauders coming in, even just tanking a few more of these Baneling shots would be huge right now. INnoVation splits away. His Widow Mine's going off one more time. Marines are still under fire, but it looks as though he might have broken through. There's only 30 army supply remains of Reynor. INnoVation through the center of the map, and Reynor just has barely anything left. 2 Banes, 4 more morphing. This base in the center will go down. 7 Ultras are on the production tab, though, and INnoVation does not have a way to deal with 7 Ultras. This could be the turning point in this game, as here we go, the Lings just trying to buy that little bit more time, trying to minimize the damage INnoVation can deal before the Ultras arrive on the map. INnoVation starting to build Liberators. Widow Mines could be huge in this situation as well. There are bases all over the place for Reynor, so while he loses the center base, he can still mine from the bottom, from the top, and INnoVation through the middle of the map, still pushing to the right-hand side. Zergling's going down. Overlord's being pushed away as well. INnoVation doing everything he can, but the 7 Ultras are seconds away from taking to the map right here. It's what Reynor needs to save the day, and here they are, the Ultras, to try and save things, but there's no kite in this plane just yet, so the Bio will try and fight this, and the Bio might be successful. There's not a lot to afford the Ultras, so Reynor is not going to be able to do too much. Maybe INnoVation can kite away. Kite in his plane is, what, 30 seconds off right now. He's trying to get infested Reynor as well, but INnoVation still has the numbers here for the moment. He still has no kite in his plane to fight against, and so here we are, INnoVation on top of these Ultras. Transfusions dropping down wherever possible right now. Bio stimming forwards, another Overseer drops. Ultras are in trouble now, as here we go, the shots are going down. 1 Ultra falls, number 2, maybe number 3 here in a second. There goes 3. Very nearly 4. Kindness Plate and finally finishes, so it's 4 Ultras on the map to try and save the day for Reynor with Kindness Plate in play, but another one dies. The Queens are picked off, split away to the right-hand side. Widow Mines are going to get connections on the Banelings as well, and all of a sudden, we're going to be seeing Reynor again having to pull away. He finally finds a chance for a counter-attack across the map, but is it too late? Because there is so much for INnoVation. Camping his bases, the Infestors won't have energy right away. It's really tough to call. SCV is pulling away for just a little bit. I mean, this base is kept alive. INnoVation has an orbital on the 5th as well. His main base relocating. Reynor gets supply blocked. He's just losing so much here. INnoVation is going to find it difficult to reinforce with anything more than just Bio. It's one of those games where it's just been so expensive for him to rebuild throughout this. Oh, reinforcements might get cut off. Actually, INnoVation stims for this. Here we go. Another fight breaking off. INnoVation's going to get a little bit surrounded here. Fungal Growth dropping. Bio on the back is going to pick up an Ultralisk or so. There's a Liberator in the sky that's just getting so many kills because there is no anti-air nearby. This is absolutely crazy at the moment, as we're going to be seeing INnoVation, I think, has been slowed down enough. Reynor has just survived. I mean, it was really always here in this game a problem for Reynor that he had a lot of money that he just wasn't spending. And as soon as that Ultra cabin came down, all of a sudden he was able to get himself 7 Ultras, right? And that alleviates. It's so much money you can spend with so little lava. And that absolutely changed the pacing of this game. Because INnoVation, I mean, INnoVation's still doing good though. He's still up for the army supply, but the army supply now is much better set up for Reynor, right? It's now, you know, a lot more Ultras, Infestors. This is much better army supply than what we saw before. And Spain's doing good to slow this down. A drop on the top though kills 12 drones. 4 SCVs going down somewhere as well. INnoVation lifts up. He's got so many low health medevacs. He has to be so careful. I mean, a couple of... oh my god, flying over this Queen. Oh my god, is he actually going to lose one medevac? Oh, he's just going to get into the main base. The Liberator going through with it. He's pulling his other medevacs back. He's going to see this counterattack coming in. Ultras show up. He's going to drop in the Liberation Zone, which kind of forces the Ultras to come and take that massive damage from the Liberators. Oh my god, that Liberator is actually going to get an Ultra kill. And that is really huge at this stage. Like, every single unit for Reynor is so important here. There's INnoVation picking off even more of Reynor's economy down on the bottom side. A few Banes trying to set up. INnoVation sees it right away, will jump on that opportunity. And he has oversaturation on the 4th. He really can't afford too much more. Bio coming over to the right side. Zergling's getting picked off. And Ultra is picking away at the mineral line of INnoVation. There's not a lot of health on that Ultra, but it's only Marines that have been sent to save the day, and the Widow Mine actually will get the kill. And attack on the top side. Another Ultra is going to get picked off. Actually going to get taken down as well. Again, a few medevacs are going to take a lot of damage. Corruptor's coming through. Inno is going to find himself the GG. 2-2 in this battle. Guys, do hit that follow button. I stream StarCraft 2 like every single day. And if you really enjoy, of course, you can get hold of these replays and emotes and more, and you can subscribe and support the stream and the tournaments that I run. Or you can cheer, you can donate. If you've got a Twitch Prime, you know what to do. You smash that button or something like that. Insert Twitch Prime memes here. Free subs. Save in StarCraft. Be an esports savior today. You could be everything we need. Top left, INnoVation. Bottom right, Reynor. Avant-Garde. This map with the pocket expansion, which can be opened by these minerals. But also the pocket expand has mineral blockers on the gases. So mineral blockers available on the gases. As we are going to be seeing the commands, and we'll come down over here. For Terran, you don't need the gas here super quick, so this seems okay. Reynor will take his first hatch in the front, and then we'll take his next hatch in the back. Oh, this turned out to be a hell of a series as Reynor is just going to throw down a super fast Rotron. It's going to be funky though, because obviously INnoVation can hold on 2 bases and just defend the top side. Unless Reynor pulls drones across the map and mines out this area, that would be really big for him. SCV sees the Lings, by the way. Reaper, gonna miss them, but then again, you don't actually need the Reaper to defend because you've got an in-base expansion. I actually really don't like the choice of build here by Reynor as Reaper from INnoVation comes into the main. He's going to see the gas container mine. He'll see the Rotron too. Great scout for Inno, and I'm pretty sure he's not going to be as aggressive as he was last time around. Reynor is taking some damage on his Overlord, and well, the roaches are starting to come out and to head across the map, but I think it's just going to be 3 or 4 roaches. More like a Roach Ravager pressure, force a bunker, force a response, and then kind of transition much faster than what he did in the previous game when he Roach Ravager all in. Seems to be the case, as we do see a couple of Lings here going to be taking quite a bit of damage. So Ling is down. I mean, again, what will these Roaches and Ravagers achieve? Again, this is more of a pressure build than an all-in, and I think this is very limited in terms of what you can get done here. Got a amount of Marines in the bunker right away with the Reaper as well. Actually, already itself dealing quite a bit of damage, and the way that Overlord's trying to come in is actually taking damage from the Marines too. That Overlord might just die to the Cyclone in like a couple of shots. And only 3 Ravagers, 4 at most, which means that you're not going to be one-shotting supply depots again, and also the bunker is split away from the depot too, so there's nothing like what we saw previously where you can kind of kill the depot and the bunker at the same time, which obviously created quite a problem. Cyclone actually locks onto a Ravager to begin with here. CP is jumping between supply depots, just continue to repair up. There's the lock onto the Overlord, and he's going to eat some damage on the Cyclone to get rid of high ground vision. Absolutely worthwhile. And I like this Reaper from INnoVation, just watching to see what's next. Going into a Siege Tank, a Starport as well will allow him to get into a Banshee. And actually it's just a really nice setup for Inno now. 2 workers down, obviously no super fast third CC, but he's very free to build a third base at this point if he'd like to. And I think he is, because he just lost about 400 minerals somewhere. There it is, going down. And he is going to opt for the Fusion Core. So Fusion Core on the way up at the moment again. I'm still not convinced by the choice of build here from Reynor. I'm not completely certain if this is how we want to go about this. Fusion Core going to be finishing in just a few moments' time. Barracks is going to hang out over the factory. Viking about to pop. The BC does start to come on up. I mean, there's nothing on this side of the map for Reynor to really try and see what's going on here at all. Again, you got to remember that Reynor's build this time around compared to before really was, again, you got to stress this, it was a pressure build more so than it was all in. He doesn't, even just kind of things like forcing the bunker, etc. is nice. Now, I wouldn't say it was successful. I would say he didn't even kill a supply depot, he didn't kill any units. I don't think it was successful, but it does mean he's got more chance to transition out than if he'd gone for like 7 Ravagers, Lings follow up, etc., right? So, just trying to explain why maybe, Reynor can get out of this to some extent here. But things like the Lair are very late, right? Because the Ravagers are the 400 gas early game that you still spend that, again, didn't really do much. The Rotron was early, an early drone commitment. He didn't build drones, he built Ravagers. All of these things do add up, of course. And what I am worried about here, actually, is 5 Queens. Okay, so 5 Queens, he does have a Spore Crawler per base. He should have an answer to Battle Cruisers. I believe the BC should teleport down here, right? Oh, you can't teleport here, though, actually. This is an air-blocked zone. So actually, that's not the best place to perhaps be. I wonder if INnoVation's realized that, because he does teleport in on this side. And I don't think he can get as far away here as he thinks he can from these Queens. So this first Battlecruiser, yeah, INnoVation is going to have to go over to the left-hand side instead. Another Queen showing up. Yeah, this BC is in so much trouble. That was not where he wanted to... Oh my god, just goes down. That was not where he wanted to teleport. I was actually thinking the same. I was like, oh, I like this area down here. It looks good on the mini-map. But if you look, this air blocker is really bad. So it actually really stops the Battlecruiser play here. And I wonder if that, in general, just makes the Battlecruiser play very weak on this map. Well, that very early kill here from Reynor on the Battlecruiser, suddenly that nullifies a lot of INnoVation's commitment early on. And nullifies a lot of what INnoVation was looking to have here. Because INnoVation, by the way, have 4 command centers super quickly. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, I actually wonder, like, that's probably INnoVation. At least he's not building more Battlecruisers, right? Like, if he was building a second Battlecruiser now, it's like, oh, the strength of 2 of them together is so much better. Yeah. I think this air block has caught a few people off guard. It really protects this bottom right-hand base. Like, this base is safe. It's really safe. It's kind of close, that BC, to getting out as well. Like, if you didn't derp into the air blocker initially as well. Even Reynor's trying to send an Overlord down there. He's like, I want to see what's over. I want to go play in the flags. Overlord's not quite going to get there. Well, I feel like both players have maybe made less than ideal choices on this map so far. As you see the Cyclones locking in, Roches and Ravagers taking some damage. Swarm hosts are up very quickly this game. Infernal Pre-Igniter already done, though, is a big part of dealing with those Locusts. And there's actually not many Cyclones at all. It is just straight into a more standard style of mech with the siege tanks. Even building some Liberators as well. Probably use those to harass a little bit early on. Tell you what, I mean, the Battlecruiser did still kind of force extra Spore Crawlers super early. And actually, even 2 more Spore Crawlers coming up just on the 4th base, so a lot of spores being established here at the moment. Marlins and the Cyclones again coming through. This middle area mined out a little bit so you can actually get some easier access. Again, these units are going to come back up to the top side. Still got a pretty comfortable mech army, though. Again, I feel like, yes, the Battlecruiser obviously didn't do so great. It didn't do very well, but I'd say all said and done, I kind of feel like it was maybe a playable situation at the end of the day, as these Locusts are kind of coming through, but they'll get cleaned out without too much issue. Oh, he lost a Liberator and a tank to Explosive Basel. That's painful. Trying to actually jump on top more of these Ravagers here. There's a couple of Locusts are going to go down. Dodges the Biles. Oh, this is actually a really nice cleanup from INnoVation. He's going to get a lot of these Roaches and Ravagers, but is it enough overall? Reynor going to keep getting ready to break this again. Will have to sit back. He's going to set up a bunch of missile turrets here. Even just a wave of, even if the Locusts waste some time on the missile turrets, that can be a nice little addition. But it's only protecting this forward position. What if Reynor does just attack around this side, right? Yeah, it's going to be intriguing. Hellion's not yet morphing into Hellbats. Hellbats are very good against the Locusts as well, so it's intriguing that he doesn't decide to do that at all here. So here we go, INnoVation is going to be potentially broken if he's not careful. Looks like he will survive another wave of Locusts, Roaches, and Ravagers. Drops down to, again, half the army supply, though, so... But now he has a little bit of time to build back up before the next wave of this, right? So... setting up a sensor tower, too. Wants to try and see what direction Reynor's going to attack in from. A couple of Corrosive Vials dropping down. Siege tank picked off already. Locusts are going to be ready soon. Now the Hellbats are Hellbats rather than Hellions. The Liberators are kind of in liberation mode, ready to try and I think they want to just try and get some of the Locust damage done before they come in here. Tanks are going to fire on this Roach Ravager, tries to come up the ramp. And Hellbat's very far forward to try and tank some of the damage here when it comes to the Locust. And they do a pretty good job of it, those Hellbats initially, but I don't know if it's enough. A lot of Roach Ravagers still moving up this ramp. Corrosive Bowels are going to hit dead center on those Liberators. The 2 Liberators die, and I think INnoVation is absolutely dead with this Swarm Host Roach Ravager push. Just doing a little bit too much. The Queens coming up this ramp. Roaches and Ravagers going to come in from the top side, and Reynor is going to break INnoVation down. Wow. Just, again, I mean, the BC obviously doesn't put him in a great spot. I feel like he had the potential to defend this as well, but things like the Hellions not being Hellbats right away, I really do question, because the Hellbats do so well against the Locusts, whereas the Hellions do take that much longer to deal with them. So yeah, you kind of lose the mobility, but you've got Locusts flying at you. Do you really need the mobility of the Hellion mode? I wouldn't really think so. Obviously at this stage, this looks as though this is probably going to be about it, as Roaches and Ravagers coming back down, and we're just going to be seeing a little bit more creep spreading around the map. 6 SCVs have just died as well. This is, again, that sort of stage where we really do seem to think that this is probably over. Unless INnoVation can pull off something more than a miracle, almost, I think. The Locusts are just so good at kind of battering down this position time and time again. Tanks are sieging up the Hellbats. Oh, the Hellbats ran away from where the Locusts are heading. Some tanks on the high ground trying to help out as well, but Locusts are still in very good numbers, and again, INnoVation supply will plummet. GG is called, and Reynor will go to the semi-finals, eliminating our final Terran from the competition. Reynor will play a best of 7 against Classic tomorrow to see who will go to the finals. So